welcome to Charities in Focus, our interviews with charity leaders. I am delighted today to be joined by David Saint, who is Chairman of Action Planning. Welcome, David.
Thank you.
And how are you today?
In pretty good form, thank you very much. I'm terrified of this interview, but hey, we'll do our best.
Oh dear. Tell me a little bit about Action Planning.
This is actually our 30th anniversary year this year. So I started the business in 1990. In fact, we were going to have our 30th anniversary party yesterday, but for some strange reason we had to postpone that. We are a multidisciplinary consultancy working right across the charity sector, really in the areas of strategy and governance, fundraising and marketing, and people and practice. So essentially tackling many of the problems that charities are facing every day.
Brilliant. Well, we're delighted that you're here today, and we're here to talk about positivity and keeping resilient and optimistic. So tell us, what keeps you positive right now?
What keeps me positive? I have to say, first of all, my Christian faith. Not just a warm, fuzzy feeling, but a strong conviction that God is in control. That even though everything may not work out in the way that we want, actually, even if things don't pan out right in this life, there's something so much better to look forward to in the next. So that kind of really big picture, long-term perspective is a fundamental grounding for me. Sunshine, sitting here in the sun right now, it makes a huge difference. I struggle to think how it would be in countries which are now experiencing this during winter. Good weather always makes things more bearable. And I guess I have a sunny disposition. I'm very much a glass more than half full person. That's not something I have to work at, it's just who I am. And I guess that may be true for a lot of people in charities. It's very hard to work in charities, maybe especially in fundraising, if you're not fundamentally a positive person. Keeping busy and productive at work and in the garden and with hobbies. I have task lists for each to keep me productive, and that gives me a clear sense of purpose and achievement, which always makes me feel more positive. And then looking outside, just seeing the evidence of so much goodwill and generosity in others, especially at this time, you can't help but feel positive when you see that.
Hey, that's a wonderful answer. Thank you so much. And just, you touched on charities. So can you just tell us a bit more about what charities are doing to improve the lives of people at the moment?
So the obvious thing is that they're delivering services, but I think there's much more than that. So first of all, I think charities bring hope. And that point about goodwill and generosity in others, I think they provide a vehicle through which people can channel their generosity, whether it's their time or their money or their empathy even. So I think charities provide a really valuable vehicle to people who want to give. And they also encourage people who receive because they are displaying that generosity of human nature. I think charities remind people of the reality of human kindness, and it's not always just one way. For myself, I have always seen myself as somebody who helps other people and fixes other people's problems. There have been times in my life where I have needed and benefited from the help from charities or from individuals. So yes, it's very much a two-way street.
Right, absolutely. We're now in a difficult time in general with lockdown. We see a lot on social media about people learning new skills or doing new things. Have you learned a new skill or developed a new hobby at this time?
So this is going to be a short answer, really. So the answer is not as much as I'd hoped. When it started in the first couple of weeks, I thought, oh, great, I'm going to have time for all those business development things that I ought to do and I'd never get round to doing. Actually, I've been so busy, mostly with client work, that it's all fallen by the wayside. So, of course, like all the rest of the world, I'm getting pretty good at Zoom.
Yes.
But to be honest, no, there hasn't been any chance to learn anything else at all.
Oh dear. So thinking about people in the charity sector, a very frivolous question, but if you were a charity superhero, and I don't believe for one instant you would ever say that about yourself, but if you were, what would you claim to be? What would you think is your superpower? What would you like it to be?
So as it's a frivolous question, I thought I'd come up with a serious answer. And actually, what I would love to see is people having a stronger connection between their brain and their ears, so that they really listen to and hear each other. I think that would make a huge difference. That would be a great power to have.
There's something about being in the moment and active listening, I think, is really important. That's quite meaningful.
Absolutely right.
Yeah. So, final question, and it's just about positivity. Any tips that you could share with people who work for charities at the moment about how they can stay and remain positive at this time?
So some thoughts. This will sound a bit strange, but don't try to be positive. Let it come naturally. It's a bit like those people who pursue things that will make them happy. Those things normally disappoint. I think that if you try to be happy, you'll fail. If you try to be positive, you'll probably think, I'm not being very positive, and you'll feel quite negative about yourself. So don't try too hard. Secondly, stay focused on the needs of others rather than yourself. Be outward looking. I'm sure positivity and happiness will likely follow. And then I think we need an antidote to that, because charity leaders are sometimes too good at thinking of others. I think we need to build in some genuine me time. If necessary, if you need that discipline, actually put it into your diary, put it onto your list of things to do, and decide positively how you're going to use that time so you don't waste it. If the answer is a TV box set and a box of chocolates, that's fine as long as it's deliberate. But if the answer's some gardening, planting out some seeds, or sorting out the loft, that may need some planning and prep. So plan and prep and then do it. And then finally, don't try and fix everything, because you can't. Nobody can. I see a lot of charity chief executives, I've been speaking with 2 this week, beating themselves up because they can't do all the things that need to be done. You have to prioritise, and then you have to let yourself say, no, actually, I've done my 70 hours or whatever this week, I'm going to stop. Set yourself realistic goals, and don't beat yourself up, even if those prove to be too ambitious.
That's really, really good advice. There's so much in there, even about being goal-driven, but journaling, being mindful, listening, think of others, being kind to yourself. I love all of that. Thank you, David, so much for taking part today. It's been wonderful hearing your advice and your thoughts about being positive. So thank you so much. So that's it for today.
So it wasn't too terrifying. It was a real pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. Join us again next time for some more Charities and Fundraising. Take care, everybody.